Welcome back to Smashing Heads Podcast. This is going to be episode 36.5, part 2 of our Wes Bergmann interview. It's just me right now, guys. Just Zach here. Hannah and Jake are not in the building because we recorded only one intro because we weren't sure if this was going to be split up into 2 parts, and it just made more sense to do that. So I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'll do all of our social plugs at the end. If you're new here, we do recaps of War of the Worlds and everything like that. But like I said, I'll do all the plugs at the end of the episode. So without any further ado, here's the rest of the Wes interview. I know you've had a huge rivalry with Bananas over the years. I want to know how much of that is kind of played up between the two of you, because it seemed like when you threw Bananas in this for elimination, he was trying to like pull back the curtain a little bit and be like, come on, are we really doing this now? Or come on, like it. How much of that is him just thinking he should be able to ride further in the game based on again, he told D apparently that oh hey, if you change your vote, like you'll get more camera time and whatever, and who knows, but Is it like legitimate? Like it really just it thrills you like a little kid to be able to put him out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's a bad person, and he is a narcissist and a sociopath, and his actions have hurt people, and he's bullied people and been mean to people, and he's the second most hypocritical person on the show after Cara. And there's just things that he's just not cool, and he refuses to change. He refuses to evolve. He's not cursed. It's just, he's just been exposed, and instead of evolving with the times and coming up with a new game plan, he just continues to do exactly what he does every time. And so not only do I get great enjoyment out of sending him home and making his life more difficult, it was also all of the Brits. I mean, I can't even say the Brits. All of the international folks that I was trying to rally together, they didn't quite believe me because they hadn't seen the whole history. They just heard murmurs, and so they weren't sure if that whole thing was just a fake rivalry in order to end up somehow get them in a gotcha moment. And so it's like when I slit his throat, it was like they all started to trust me a lot more, because they were like, oh wow, he's the real deal. He's actually going after the Americans, because that was my thing. Once I saw who all was there, I knew that I was going to go after virtually all the Americans first. And that's
I think it was, and I said it on the recap, I think it's the right move, because you never know when you're going to be in the positions of power. You never know when your teammate's going to suck, or when someone's going to double team you and screw you over, and someone else is going to be in the tribunal. And, Johnny kind of wasted his position on that, and it's like, oh, hey, we'll just go after some other people. And, like, I again, you have the chance. Why not make a big move and see what happens? You're safe. You're not going to get picked to be thrown in. He already hates you as a player, so
it was. But where he tries to pawn that off, like, oh, he didn't send me in, so I was supposed to like back that up. But like the truth is, I only had one guy at that point that I was working with, and he knew exactly who it was. So he just thought there was an easier chance of getting rid of.
Is that Hunter?
Yeah, he just thought it was an easier chance to get rid of like my rook or my bishop, as opposed to just coming right for me. And if he thought that he could get rid of me, he would have pulled that trigger first. It was an act of war for sure what he did, and it was totally against me. He just thought strategically it would be easier to get rid of the only person that I've kind of got right now. I mean, I got probably 90% of the cast list before I left, and this season was built for him. I mean, it was all of his friends, like everyone that's ever liked him. It was there, and
except you.
And so this one was his to lose, and so when I went in and I just rallied all the international folks, I was serious. I'm like, you guys understand that I'd rather be at the bottom of at the bottom of the international totem pole than at the bottom of the American totem pole, and let Bananas be at the top. And so that's what I ended up doing and it wasn't like I'm not like not patriotic or anything. It was just um, I know where I stand with the Leroy and Bananas gang, and I just wanted to go after them.
Yeah, again, like you're playing with house money on this one. You've been away for a while. Like Johnny is, he knows he's been eliminated and not made finals and not won anything since Rivals 3. And uh, again, you had other things you were doing, and you happened to make it back on this one.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, there to be honest with you guys though, there's some playing up that we do for it for sure. But
yeah,
I like really don't like him, and he really doesn't like me, and so it's not like we're lying to fans. Like we don't like each other, and we do want each other out of the game, and we do make each other's lives miserable. We might as well be entertaining while we do it.
is there any like rivalry that you can remember that you were like, oh, these people are 100% just playing this up for TV?
And no real good ones.
Okay.
Like there's a bunch of fake ones, but none of them that get really any airtime. The BMP and MTV do a really good job of kind of filtering that out. I think that people are definitely copying Bananas and I's template a little bit. To where when they find like an actual rivalry, then they stay rivals longer than they need to, and they play it up a little bit more than they need to because they think that that's how Bananas and I have done it. But I don't know. There's just a lack of innovation in this new generation.
Do speaking of one of your other big rivals, um, how do you feel about Kenny now? Looking back on everything, he's been away for a while. Um, I think the last time we saw him was what? I don't even remember.
Rivals.
Was Rivals 1?
Yeah.
Because you and him were paired up, right?
Was that his? I couldn't remember if that was his last one or not.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, that sounds right. That should be his last one.
So I'm assuming you guys did not become the level of friends that you and CT did during Rivals 2.
No.
As far as like him outside of the show, is that someone like you like legitimately don't like, or is it just like, oh, he was in the game and we just didn't hit it off or whatever? Is it like Bananas level? Like you like, no, I genuinely think he's a bad person and don't like him.
I think he's a worse person than Bananas.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Kenny, but for different reasons. Kenny is very dumb, and sometimes dumb people accidentally have the ability to hurt others. Like I don't think he's quite aware of what all his actions are capable of, and so I don't think he's necessarily hurting people on purpose. I just think he's unaware of what he's doing, and I don't know. He's hurt a lot of people and bullied a lot of people and disrespected a lot of people and used a lot of people to get whatever small amount of success he had on the shows were. And I'm just not a fan of who he is and where he's gone and what he's done with his life. I think he should be ashamed of himself.
I will say, like watching back those seasons, though, especially the last couple with him and Johnny and Evan or whatever, those do not paint them in a good light. And, I remember watching those, and I liked Kenny and Evan specifically when I was watching them live. I always knew they were at odds with you, but I was like, oh, well, they have personality at least. They give good interviews. They're playing the game. Like, they compete. But going back and watching them now, you're just like, ooh, like, I think I grew up a lot in the last 10 years too.
Yeah.
And it's not, they're uncomfortable to watch sometimes.
Right.
We've worked through some of the old seasons, and it is what it is. Like, and not everything's painted as nicely as you remember.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember it nicely. I remember them being like that from day one, all of them.
Well, to be fair, you probably saw a lot of things that we never got to see. I know
Well,
you did.
you guys, I mean, everyone saw quite a bit. It's just, yeah, I mean, yeah, yes, but you get snippets of some of the worst stuff, and I don't know, they just weren't good people. And what kind of stunk is I got painted. I think I got branded a little bit like I was one of those guys, like I was a villain of some sort, and I never quite understood why. Because I sat there and I'm like, I'm fighting against the people that are being mean to all the other cast members, and I do fight fire with fire, and I do it aggressively, but I'm going after the bad people, not the good people. And they were just very good at branding themselves, and they had more people to kind of build up the propaganda machine. And I don't know.
They were charismatic. I'll give them that. Now I'll say Johnny was the least out of all of them. If you
Yeah,
watch those old seasons, it was definitely like Evan 1, Kenny like 1A, and then
Yeah.
Johnny was like 8. I don't know.
Yeah,
He just
Johnny's gotten better. So
Yes,
he's
yes.
definitely he needed practice, but now he's as good as they were at the quips, if you will, and the narration.
It's just it's wild. Like, it's good to see the change, right? That, like, you go back and watch those older seasons and just the amount of bullying and even words like retard that were used. That, like, and me, I have a special needs brother, and like, you just see some of the stuff that would just fly out without any hesitation, and it's uncomfortable to watch. And so, like, that's one aspect of watching the newer stuff now is like, everybody's just so mindful of it now and more sensitive to that kind of stuff. And I mean, what's that like? Because, like, you were there when that kind of stuff was going on, when there was some legitimate bullying going on to both men and women on the show. I mean, can you tell as big a difference too in what it looks like now compared to then?
It's
Or
I don't know.
does it just look that way on a television? And it's not really the case.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of bullying. Let's put it this way. I don't. You can be a bully without crossing the line, and I just think that there's quite a few of times where they've crossed the line. Like, I'm okay with bullying on the challenge as long as it's the right kind. Like, constantly making someone feel pressure, constantly making sure that they understand that they can never be checked out of the game, constantly making sure that they know that everyone around them is trying to send them in. Whatever, that's fine. That's fair play. But then there's places that are definitively crossing the line that you don't need to lower yourself to that level, and it's, I don't know, and I feel like some of those guys just did exactly that. They just crossed the line unnecessarily. But we're on a game called the challenge. It should be difficult. It's just
I agree with that.
Yeah.
so I throw the word bullying around very loosely. Because some of it I think should be accepted, but it can go too far.
I don't personally consider, like, what you gave as an example. Like, I don't really consider that bullying. Like, I think that's part of the game, like the broad sense of the word, the game. Yeah, there's definitely people who have taken it too far and
It's
crossed
when you
the
start
lines.
getting personal,
Yeah.
like about maybe someone's appearance or their mind,
or their family.
Yeah.
Like, that was obviously the big issue with Devin and Bananas last season. And there was a handful of seasons ago, Frank had a run-in with Nani and crossed the line on that. And I'll say, like, I did like Frank, but I was like, this guy can be crazy. Like, he's so, like, all over the place emotionally, that you never know what you're going to get out of him, which, that makes for good TV, but that also makes for him being really horrible to the people around him.
Right.
But yeah, like, I think that's where the line kind of is like, don't take it into, like, personal steps. Like, know where to draw the line of, oh, this is the broad sense of the game. I'm trying to make you feel pressure. I'm trying to make you uncomfortable, but don't, like, bring in people's family members or people who have nothing to do with the show or issues that they have back home. Like, that's where my line is for sure.
Right. Well, speaking of bullies, like, Jake, what do you have to say for yourself? Or, like,
Oh, I'm a bully.
yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, of the three of you guys, yeah.
Wes.
Like, what do you have to say for yourself? I mean, as the most disliked person of the three of you, like, why? Like, why?
According
like,
to Wes.
Like, why? Like, why not? Why not, like, evolve and make yourself better?
Wes, I have
Like a Pokemon.
I have tweets pinned to my page, which you wouldn't know because you
Wes,
don't
he
follow
has,
me.
like, 78 followers.
I have 92 followers.
That's still not very many.
All right, let me just quote a couple to you, okay?
Okay.
It's going to get really narcissistic.
No. This is fine.
It's already narcissistic.
Are you bringing in some receipts right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see what
All
we
right,
got.
we've all right, Miss Nina here on Twitter, okay? says, the more I listen to Smashing Heads, the more I'm convinced that @Jake Engel is a national treasure.
Okay.
You laugh at that,
Okay.
but there are people out there that tweet this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and of course you would have that pinned to your profile.
Actually, that one's not pinned. The
That's just
comment about
retweeted?
the comment about the nipple ring is the one that's pinned.
Okay, what I don't understand is like, let's talk about your dating life for a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
You picked a great time to ask me about it too.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so there's guys like me that don't get to play on Twitter, and you get the ability, or excuse me, not Twitter, on Tinder, and you get the ability to have the right to go on Tinder and have like this great single life, and you just trash it all the time. Like, and I, meanwhile, have never even had the opportunity to log in and see it one time.
So what is your question?
My question is why are you disrespecting being single? Like enjoy it.
So you're saying I should be a little selfish, think about myself for a while,
Yeah.
and just enjoy it.
So
Yeah.
Wes, can I tell you that we've been with him when he's like looking through Tinder and he's like, hey, what do you think about this? And he like fundamentally doesn't understand how the app works, and he'll like super like people that he doesn't even want to see. And
Yeah, he'll say, "Oh, I like her. She's cute. I'm going to swipe right," and then he swipes left.
It's a very difficult layout.
It's
honestly.
like
It
three
is
directions.
it could be it's the easiest UI that there could possibly be. Like why just Hannah, why don't you take his phone and just help him?
We have.
I physically took his phone out of his hand one time, and I used the buttons instead of swiping to show him that if he can't swipe correctly, he can at least do that. And it's just been a train wreck on fire.
Well, let me just provide you with a little update here. I will be
Okay.
canceling my Tinder tonight.
What?
And not because of you, but because it's a disaster on there. You know, you've got
Well, why not use one of the other ones then, like a Match or a Bumble?
which would you're a smart businessman. Which would you advise me to go on?
That sounded condescending.
No,
I've
he is.
never.
He's a smart business guy.
Yeah. I actually, okay, and I say this, because you're from the South, I bet plenty of fish would be good for you.
It's
I've
a
never
free
even heard
one.
of
It's a
that.
free
That's
like
the-
dating.
A free one.
It's like OkCupid and all those other free
So
ones.
the thing is there is this girl that has caught my glance.
Oh, yeah, no,
she's-
too early, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you know I'm divorced?
Yeah, I do.
Wait, let him tell the story.
What story?
He can't tell some of his stories.
No, but here's the thing. So like you pissed me off thoroughly when you didn't tell Hannah and Zach that you were engaged.
Okay, so let me clarify that one. Hannah wasn't in the picture back then.
That's
Okay.
right. So I couldn't have told her. Didn't know Hannah.
Well, Zach didn't know I was in the picture.
Well, we had not met back then, but he legitimately was living with me.
Well, the reason I didn't tell Zach is because Zach did not like this girl.
Well, and let's
Well, maybe you should have paid more attention to what he said.
let's also get into this. Literally, all of our friend groups was like, "Hey, this is not a great idea," and then
Hey, we made it 5 years, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
and then
that's
it
pretty
ended.
good. What I'm getting at though is like mentally, you need a longer period to be just single and living life up before you jump back, before anyone like fully catches your glance, as you like to say.
Well, Wes, I'm in a little bit of trouble then because there is this girl that has caught my glance, and I'm a pursuer.
Send me a picture.
But you got to follow me on Twitter.
No, just send me a picture.
Well, you got to follow me on Instagram.
Okay. Well, is there a picture of her on Instagram?
Yes.
yeah, he just posts pictures of her.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I just
She
post
has
pictures
a
of her.
profile.
Okay, hold on.
Oh wait, we can't.
Are you on your Instagram? I'll DM it to you right now.
No, you already blew up my DMs.
That's right, because
Did you?
I didn't like blow it up. I posted.
Wes-
I tagged him in my story.
Wes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so where is this girl? Like, I'm on your page right now.
I'm not gonna say her name.
No,
on the
he
podcast.
hasn't posted her.
No,
picture
there's
of
no
her.
picture of us.
Oh,
we've been
so
on-
how am I supposed to find?
He's
find
gonna
this girl?
send you-
I'm gonna
one.
DM you her
Okay.
account. All right,
Okay.
this is fun. I didn't see this
Well,
coming.
the thing is, she does know that we record this, and she did say a few weeks ago that she was going to start listening. So there's a chance that she listens to this and figures out it's all about her.
At this point,
Oh.
though, she also could be a pathological liar. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, how about this? If she's listening, I don't like her.
Here we go.
All right.
To
Yes.
be fair,
Put her on my-
you don't seem to like Jake very much.
Put her on my but because Jake doesn't take good advice. Like, I mean, I am the challenge Cupid. I've put so many people together, and he's like not accepting my relationship advice.
So tangentially, let's ask about how did you feel about Chase being super weird about Nani?
Tinder Chase.
No. We're
Listen,
still
we're
on...
going to get back to it. I was waiting for you to read it.
I did DM it to you.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, well, no, Chase was on the wrong show.
True.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay, there's a... Okay, but now there's so much more pressure because now she knows that I'm looking at her. Okay, I could see how she catches your glance.
Well, I would agree with you.
But like, and God, and I really want to trash her, but she looks so sweet.
She's incredibly sweet.
Okay, but the thing is, the right girl, wrong time, Jake. Right girl, wrong time.
And it is one of those things.
you are so on. You don't even understand.
They have been texting. They have been on a date.
Uh-huh.
But it's one of those things where when they're together,
It's amazing.
It's like a match made in heaven. But when they're not together, it's like she fell off the face of the earth.
She's
all right,
going
I'm
through a lot
I'm-
right now. It's
all
right
I'm
person,
following-
wrong time. It seems.
I'm following her.
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh.
She's like, hey, this guy that has like 300,000 followers. I don't know how many you have.
Yeah, not
Did you
that
really
many.
follow her?
No, I'm just joking.
Oh man.
But
that
I
would've been
I
funny.
might slip into the DMs though. See, to tell, just be like, hey, I think you should leave this Jake guy alone. There's some things about him.
You're
There's
gonna
some,
put in a good word for me.
I don't know.
No.
See, like, the thing is, I feel like you just need a longer period because you had your decompression period where you weren't really on the scene. And you
Yes.
need to be on the scene longer because you need to be able, when you do jump back in, you need to be able to like say, I did the scene fully. I don't want that in my life anymore. And then you can be able to, it's just easier to be faithful and in love with your next wife forever.
Like being like inoculated. Like you get a little taste of it and then you're done.
Well, let's be clear, Wes. This divorce thing isn't happening again. Okay?
Yeah, I know. That's why we got to do this correctly the next time.
All right.
And notice how I'm saying we, like I'm a part of this process. I've got you.
So that means you are making yourself available to me in the event that I need to reach out.
Yeah.
So are you going to take 10% of their children if they have it?
It'd be 5%, but
Okay.
yeah,
But
maybe.
that's reasonable. Yeah.
But I feel like if I was in town, if I'm in Tennessee and I'm with you, we'd be out on the prowl. And as a famous married man, I'm like the best wingman there is. Like I don't want to blow anyone's cover, but I recently proved this like 2 nights ago.
With Devin?
Okay, yeah, I didn't want to blow up his spot, but yeah,
We already talked about that. We said you were with him 2 nights ago.
Yeah, okay, I guess I got caught. He's not going to listen 2 hours into this interview, but if he does, I'm sorry. He's newly single himself. But like this girl comes up and lots of girls come up, but I'm like, oh, well, she came up to see me and talk to me about the show. And I'm like, well, yo, do you know Devin? She's like, no. But then I'm like, oh, well, I'm married, so I'm very flattered that you came up to me, but you want to hang out for a little bit. And so I basically, like, Devin didn't have to do anything. Like, all
Was
the
this
work
at an
was.
Applebee's?
This was at the I can't even say where we were at because it's a little bit of a spoiler.
You did it
but
wrong if you weren't in Applebee's.
We were at the at a brewery.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And so, yeah, so if we were going out, I would be like the ultimate wingman for you, and I would show you how fun being single is.
Wes, listen, my wingman spot's available. Zach can't be that guy because I don't trust him with it.
And look how that turned out.
Well, you don't trust. He can't be there for you as your wingman because he spends every moment of every day with me.
Well, technically, Hannah, you would be a good wing person too, and you're not stepping up to that role.
Well, I will let you know that I'm the one that found this girl first and reached out to her first and then introduced her to Jake. And
I introduced her to Jake.
No, I was talking to her first, and then I said, oh, hey, this is my husband, and then this is our best friend, Jake. And so I introduced them. They really hit it off, and then I put together a Super Bowl party and reached out to her, invited her, made her feel welcome, and that was when they decided that they were going to go on a date. So I made this happen. It just is in a difficult spot.
It's a weird situation, but it was great. She's great.
I
And
would
Hannah's
say
great. Is that what you want to say?
I'm a great wing woman.
But you should now be a wing woman again, like repeatedly for like a year.
A whole year.
Yeah, at least you gotta have some time to cope with your divorce, man. Like
Wes,
there needs
he'll
to be
be
time.
old and barren by then.
I will be.
No,
Baron.
he's not gonna be barren. He's a young buck.
Oh, he's part of Team Young Buck.
Yeah,
Just throw me on the team, Young Buck.
Yeah, you're TYB.
Is he gonna have his 4th show coming up soon?
How is it, Jake, that you
Yeah.
can be such a fan of Pauly but not want to sleep around? That's a mind-blowing question, isn't it?
Well, you know, Wes, I consider myself a respecter of women. Not
Yeah.
that just going up and having sex with women means you disrespect them, but
Did I say to have sex with these women?
well,
In a
I'm
roundabout
strong-
way.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I just said date around a little bit.
No, you definitely said sleep with.
All right, maybe.
like I'm a permission guy, right? Like in regards to like.
Well, no one's telling you not to get their permission.
No, but I'm saying. As soon as I said that,
Polly might.
Yeah.
as soon
Just
as
kidding. That is not.
no, but like I'm very respectful. I'm very I'm not the take advantage guy. I'm not
Jake, are you good in bed?
you'd have to ask my ex-wife. I think I'm good in bed.
Okay, well then you are doing these women a disservice by not sleeping with them. If you have their permission and you're giving them the type of loving that you're talking about and you're being nice and showing them a good time, you're depriving the world of the Jake that they need.
The world.
Here's the thing.
Are we supposed to periscope this?
Yes.
Here's the thing. You came onto this show initially. You were putting me in 5-minute timeouts.
Well, let's say before we even started recording, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight Jake on
Yeah.
the show."
And now you're trying to raise the level of my sex life.
Yeah.
So you have turned a corner.
I am. I'm turning as
knew
we
it.
speak, so it just depends. Yeah, you've grown on me. I can see how you very well might be one of the great American treasures.
Well, so speaking of that, like I've known Jake most of my life. Like we didn't really start hanging out till we were like 15 because like we don't want to hang out with him. But
That did happen.
I hung out with his brother a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But now we don't talk to his brother. So
He's an acquired taste.
Pretty darn good taste, if you ask me.
Yeah, but not good at first. It's like one of those things that you need some time to warm up to, and then eventually you love it.
Like whiskey.
Yes, exactly.
Well, so okay, so we're gonna stay in touch about this, right? Because
Yeah.
this is a thing now.
Yeah.
You can't. Here's the thing: is you can't give me this advice. Tell me you're gonna make yourself available to me, and then a week later, Wes is nowhere to be found. He's
Well, what am I? I mean, I'm not really. You want like regular counseling about this? I mean,
No.
it's
well,
pretty-
to be fair, we've already established you're going to be coming on every week from here on out. So I mean, we'll just talk about it then.
And you can dock me for the pay every
But
time I don't.
well, first of all, you owe me money because I'm on retainer now, and so we'll work it out. We'll work the logistics out.
All right. So how about we put on Instagram or Twitter like a request for more dates in the Tennessee area?
hey, look, Wes, whatever you want to do. I mean,
Wes, if you want, fly us all out to Kansas City or Tulsa.
I've never been.
I've been to both.
Really?
My sister went to school in Tulsa, so I've been to Tulsa a lot.
I've been to Tulsa.
Did she go to ORU?
Yeah. And so we went out there all the time. And so, yeah, Jake's been to Tulsa a few times. And
Look at me
So-
putting the pieces together because there's like 5 big universities there, and I chose the smaller one because I listen.
because you want to get to know us, you want to know our heart.
I already know you guys. Like I know you guys. Everything.
It's weird because we also know you, but we've never talked before.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it?
And here we are, 2 hours in.
Yeah, on a
Best
Saturday night.
friends.
And the
Yeah.
dog.
Our dogs are downstairs. We have a Shiba Inu and then a 90-pound American Bulldog.
Ooh, that's
So-
pretty adorable.
Yeah, they're great. You'd love them.
Gotta come over and play with our dogs.
Well, apparently now I have to, and we've got to go out, and we've got to, and I can't say this girl's name, but she's not invited.
Thank you for not saying her
You
name.
say I may invite her.
No, that would be the worst.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying she should be in the docket. Like she should be, you just because you went on one date, you can't be
I
like
went on 2.
okay, 2 dates, you can't be like crazy exclusive already with one person. You need to be out like on the town, like seeing what else is out there to confirm that she's as good as she probably is.
Well, we're going to have to go down the road to Memphis or something because the only thing that would be considered going out here is a club called
Boogie night.
No.
Slide and Ride.
Slide and Ride.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
So, I actually went with some buddies on New Year's Eve, and it was a disaster.
Are there any Challenger members that live in Memphis?
There's a few in Nashville.
Yeah.
Ammo lives in Nashville.
Ammo's in Nashville.
Maddie's in Nashville.
Yeah, Maddie.
Joanna's in Nashville. I mean, not Joanna. Sorry, that was a slip of the tongue.
Johnny.
John A is in Nashville.
And Brooke Hogan.
Brooke Hogan's there. I can't remember if there's.
And then
anyone
how far
else.
away is Nashville from Memphis?
It's about 3 hours.
Ooh.
But it's
We're in the middle of both
yeah,
of
so
them.
it's 2 hours from us.
Oh, okay.
So we're like an hour from Memphis, 2 hours from
And
Nashville.
who's Emma?
What?
Did you say Emma is a Challenge cast member that lives in Nashville? Who's that?
Ammo.
Ammo.
Oh, Ammo. Okay.
From, like,
yeah.
2 seasons
Yeah,
ago.
got it. I've never met him.
He works at like Joe's Crab Shack or something in Nashville.
Oh, that sounds so good. That's what I'm going to get after this.
Okay.
So you're going to come to town, and we're going to go to Nashville, and then we'll go eat at Joe's Crab Shack
Yeah.
after we've hit the town up.
And then we're going to hit the town up. Then we're going to go to Joe's Crab Shack. And then we're going to hit the town up again.
All right.
And
well,
you know who?
that's a lot
Do
of
you know
hitting.
who is a single Christian woman that I think you should go on a date with?
Who?
oh, say it.
Brooke Hogan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ashley Kay. Not Kane.
I know Ashley Kane. I wish.
Yeah, but she doesn't live in Nashville.
Yeah, she's in L.A.
She moved to LA.
So we're like you've listened. Jake's a huge wrestling fan.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Love Hulkamania, too.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's who
I
I'd
think
be
Brooke,
visiting.
Brooke would be a good one.
Yeah. I think I should text her right now and see if she would go on a date with you.
You should. Hey, this one guy from this podcast you've never heard of.
Yeah, he's
Listen,
really.
at this point in the show, like where we're at, like I wonder if everyone's like, why is this what we're listening to? Because we have not been talking about the challenge really for a while.
But we do have a lot of listeners that are invested in Jake's love life.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about it long enough.
No, it's
Yeah.
definitely a thing.
Well, I wanted to make it more of a thing, and so
You certainly
Here
did.
we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that you need to work on this a little bit, and if you jump like head first into this new girl, I think that would be doing a disservice to this new girl.
All right.
So,
Okay.
out of respect to her, you should go on dates with other women.
Okay. Well, let me just say I will take your advice to heart. And I'm a thinker. I'm a ponderer.
Mm-hmm.
So I will definitely take what you've said, think on it, meditate.
Overthink.
Listen, I'm a terrible overthinker. I
Think
overanalyze.
himself out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do you do that to yourself?
It's a curse, Wes. It's
But
You know-
you taken the first step of acknowledging that you're aware that it's a problem. So why can't you fix it now?
because the mind is a powerful thing.
To waste. That phrase is to waste.
A terrible thing to waste is the phrase.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, well, I don't want you to overthink it, and I think that Hannah and Zach are going to help you, like, not overthink it, and they're going to
That's what you think.
they're going to police this a little bit.
I've worked.
Hannah's been an
diligently-
advocate for this.
Diligently and tirelessly.
On getting this one girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, just in general, trying to get him to listen to me.
Yeah, you should definitely take relationship advice from her.
Well, I've given him relationship advice, and
But
then
he doesn't take
goes
it,
home.
huh?
He goes home and thinks about it, and then he overthinks, and then he talks himself out of it.
Oh man, overthinkers do have problems in the dating pool. Yeah, so
I'm
why is
man
that,
enough
Jake?
to admit it.
Yeah,
I don't really have an answer for you.
does it stem from like childhood trauma or something?
No, I had a great childhood growing up.
Or was
you
it
know?
too? It was too good, so that's why you overthink everything.
Yeah, it's too good to be true. Something has to go wrong.
Can I tell you what I think it is?
Yeah.
I think it's that growing up in high school, I was not in any way, shape, or form a ladies' man, what you would call a ladies' man. I probably attracted more men than I did girls, honestly.
And for the region we're in, that is the ratio to that is insane.
Yeah. So I just, I have this thing where like I fall hard and I fall fast.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good on me, Wes.
Yeah, that's not good. We got to fix it.
And I will say that like when there is even a little bit of attention, I'm being very real right now.
This podcast took a turn I never expected.
But like when I do like feel, not just see some attention being directed my way, but when I see there's a legitimate connection, I'm borderline all in at that point.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's what I will say with this girl is that there is 1,000% a connection there. That is non-fabricated. That is not made up in my own world or my own head. There is legitimately something there.
But have you told her how big of a fan you are of Polly?
I'm not sure she's aware of who Polly is.
Yeah, but if she was aware of,
you think that would diminish my
that's what
standing
that's
in
what
her
I'm
book?
saying. Like you can't just like jump in that fast, or you might scare her off.
I will say you did the same thing with Polly. You just turned the corner and you were all in.
Yeah, you did.
Wes listens. He knows.
Yeah, and when you did that, you actually scared me off.
Yeah, probably lost a lot of fans.
Yeah, our downloads dipped like crazy. That's not true. On that front, we both lean into it, the opposite sides of it. Like, again, kind of like what you said, we're not comparing ourselves to you and Bananas, but like he knows that I'm not going to agree with him on that, and I know that I'm just going to push back on any sort of validity he gives Polly in this show. So,
yeah, no, I know, I like it. You guys are good at it.
But I do recognize how good he is at the
here it goes.
competition.
He's
aspect.
good.
It's real.
He's
It's
good.
real.
He's good. He's good. But I'm just saying, like this new girl,
It keeps coming back every time.
this new girl. I think you just got to be. If she knew that you were his number one fan, I think, and you got to tell her at some point.
Yeah, that's got to be right up there. Like when you're clearing the air about everything. Do you know that I'm a fan of Polly?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lie of omission at this point if you don't tell her soon.
Ooh.
Well, maybe that'll be a conversation had on the third date.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Well, call me during that, and I'll tell her.
I don't have your number.
I think for now we'll keep it that way.
Okay.
Hey, Wes, since you clearly like me more, can I have your number?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're definitely
I'm
my
on a maybe.
You're
I'm
definitely my favorite.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Listen, she said steroids. We've already been over this.
Yeah.
I took it back 3 times.
Yeah,
But you remember, she did say it.
she did say it. Yeah, that's definitely the tiebreaker.
But yeah, so speaking of, Jake's got to clear the air about Polly. I don't know if you listened to our Runes recaps. Someone wanted us to ask you how you felt about Hannah being the resident Dunbar defender.
There we go.
Okay, so I didn't after I don't know. I listened to the first 2 recaps, but then I stopped. So I didn't even hear the one, I don't think, where I lost.
Yeah, because that was one of the last couple episodes we started talking about Dunbar.
I forget what. Why did Dunbar need defending?
Well, so again, this
Something
is
to do with Mama Kim.
no, actually, no. It was
It's Kellyanne.
Kellyanne was on her birthday and she was drunk. I think you were gone by this point.
Yeah.
And then she starts laying into Dunbar about, hey, why are you telling everyone we slept together? And he's coming out saying I never said that, but then he's like, we played hide the whatever, and anyway, it became a big like 3-day what it looked like argument. And we were like, I think Jake and I said, well, if he's saying that and it's not true, like, yeah, clearly. And anyway, Hannah just stuck up. Clearly she was going for Dunbar, and we're
very, very against Kellyanne in this situation, like to the point where she was like physically angry.
It was just a good situation because Kellyanne kept bringing it up, and Dunbar did not want to talk about it. He was trying to get away from everybody else, some downtime before the next challenge and elimination, and she kept coming back and trying to pick a fight.
Okay, so I'm a little fuzzy on the details a little bit, but if I remember it correctly, this was my assessment, was Dunbar had exaggerated / lied about whether or not they had slept together. And that's why he wanted to like change the subject, is he didn't want any light shed on like the whole situation.
The discrepancies.
Right, exactly. Because like Kellyanne was very open with me about all kinds of stuff and people and things and yada yada yada. So it was like there was no real reason to lie about that. And I think that there was she admitted there was some heavy petting and some cuddling and all that kind of stuff, but there was never actually any Webster definition level of sex. And I think he told people that there was, and there just wasn't. And that was where the discrepancy is. Dunbar, I haven't talked to him in a very long time, not since Rivals 2 in Thailand. But I always got along with him and liked him. So I don't really have a whole lot of bad things to say about him. But there is something off with him when it comes to sex. He's got...
He made some weird post-challenge choices.
Yes, yeah.
Including a sex-based reality show.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I've read about it because everyone's like, "What happened?" Like,
yeah. It's online. I'll send you the link.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I knew that was a weird thing with him. If getting back, since we spent like a good 45 minutes on Jake's relationship.
Well, absence of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is there anyone from past seasons that you like legitimately wish would come back? Like, I will say, it seems like Nehemiah has been more like interactive with challenge stuff recently.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you're close with him. But is there anyone that you wish, like someone like Evelyn? Someone asked us if you keep up with Evelyn. I know she's kind of seemed to have moved on from things, but
yeah, I haven't talked to her in a long time. And she definitely just kind of gave everyone the boot. I mean, she doesn't even keep up with Kellyanne anymore, and they were
really?
they were best friends. They, in her defense, they had some sort of a falling out that had nothing to do with that. She was just moving on. I think that they had a fight about something, and I'm not sure what it was.
I think I read she was a lawyer at last.
She is, yeah. So she's definitely doing really well for herself. But yeah, I don't think anyone keeps up with her. I would say, I mean, Nehemiah is probably the answer. He is. He got a little bit of an unfair shake in some situations, which kind of stinks for him. And he was really good at them. I think he won like 6 or so eliminations that get kind of tossed under the rug. And he's a challenge champion, and he came from like a very good original Real World. I mean, there's just. I think he was ahead of his time with the brand that he was, which was just like kind of chill and spiritual and meditative and all that. And that is very in vogue right now, but wasn't in 2012 when they started to phase him out. And I think he probably brought some of that on himself with the phasing out, because he might have turned down a couple. And once you kind of get off that list, you kind of stay off that list. But I would love to. He's one of the few that I think could come back in and do really well.
Well, and don't forget, one of the more important facts about him is he had a little fling with Beth.
Yeah.
Challenge legend Beth.
That's still one of the weirdest quote relationships I can remember.
Yeah, well, it wasn't anything. I mean, the truth is, she was just so desperate for friends and help. Like she kind of like, when Nehemiah was intoxicated one night, she like snuck into his bed and like cuddled with him and then lied about what all went down, but they did nothing. And so this poor man has been Beth tarnished for a decade where people like Jake 10 years later are still bringing it up and besmooching this poor man's name.
So I remember like when watching those seasons and when Beth was on, I was like, this woman's got to be like 50 back then. And she wasn't that old. I mean, she was older than a lot of the cast, but she just always seemed like she was out of place in those seasons.
Yeah, it was. She'd be a lot more, that age would have been, that we're as a collective unit getting a little bit older.
Yes.
Or I guess I should say that differently so it's not misinterpreted, but they're casting an average of later ages. And so it was really weird to see like Mark Long on there at 40, but now, I mean, shoot, 34 might as well be 40. CT's getting up there, Banana's getting up there, Veronica's there. And so it's like there's quite a few older people, and I think that they'll start to allow more people to get up in those later ages as long as they can continue to perform.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you're saying. Like you've got to like prepare for it. You can't just be like, "Oh, I did this 8 years ago. I'm good to go. I didn't train at all.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just here to drink." You know?
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Well,
But you also can't go the opposite route and just train and not drink at all and not be a good cast member. I mean, it's you got to be able to do both.
You still have to be somewhat entertaining on the show.
Very much so.
I think, I don't have a problem with Veronica as a competitor, but I do think that's kind of where she has fallen short, at least even in the latest seasons that she's been in, especially last season when she was partnered with CT. It just seemed like she didn't want to train or do anything, even compete in dailies and stuff like that. She just wanted to sit on the couch and drink wine.
Yeah.
That green wine.
And that kind of stinks because, I mean, she probably will. I mean, I don't know her or talk to her. So, I mean, I know her, but I don't keep up with her. I bet they would let her do a couple more seasons, and she just doesn't come in prepared, and that kind of stinks. It's not a excuse to go on a month-long vacation anymore. It's more than that, and you got to treat it as such.
Yeah, I agree. Is there any format that you wish they'd bring back that they haven't done, or a format, because we hinted at it earlier, like with the old school versus whatever. Is there a format you wish that either we haven't seen in a while or that just worked really well? Because clearly the Ruins, there was flaws in it, and so I was just curious on your take on that.
I'd like to see more like individual stuff. I think that there's lots of games and themes that they haven't tried yet that they could. So I'd like to see some brand new stuff, some things that they've never done before at all.
Free agents was a cool concept.
Yeah, I was about to say,
exactly.
yeah.
Like that was a very cool concept.
Because you never knew who was going to be on your team.
Yeah.
But it was still an individual.
Yes. Yeah.
Game.
That was cool. And I didn't watch that, but I was told what the rules were, and I was intrigued by it.
It was a good one. One thing I would like to see is almost like a best friend season, like not rivals, but like where people are like legitimately close. And because when those things blow up, like they get way more personal. Like there's feelings behind that. It's not just someone you hate and you see every 6 months.
Right.
I don't think we've ever done anything like that, and that's kind of my like push.
Yeah, that was actually one of the main rumors going into this last season was that it was going to be best friends or besties or whatever.
Who did you think you were going to get?
CT.
Really?
Yeah, but there was a lot of those. Like everyone kind of had one, and so that we thought that would have been it. And you wouldn't fight with your person, but if your best friend was there, and you get like, I could see there being actually a lot of fights because you defend your best friend a lot more than you would some kind of random person that you don't know that well.
Listen, I don't know who you need to get us in touch with. Well, I've got so many ideas.
That would be good.
Yeah, no, trust me. If it comes from us, then that's how you know they'll never do it.
Well, Wes, you didn't say anything. This was my idea. I'm going to trademark it. Actually, I don't even know if I came up with it, but I do like that idea.
Does
best friends one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your wife a fan of the challenge? Does she watch?
Well, yes. And speaking of, she just came in, so we need to wrap this up
that is
relatively soon. But she is she's a fan now because she watches it.
Did she know you before?
No, she didn't. But she it's more fun to be so she goes with me occasionally to like events, or some cast members will come into town and visit me or come in for the wedding or whatever, and then and they're so it's just more fun for her to watch the show when she's met and hung out with 5 or 6 of them, so it's easier to be a fan. So yeah, she keeps up with it and has since I think we started watching them together at like Dirty 30.
Can I say that I'm still a little offended we didn't get invited to your wedding?
That's a
Oh,
problem.
I'm sorry, man. I don't think you guys were even around when I got
Well,
married.
since we just started like 6 months ago, we
What'd
weren't.
you say, July?
Yeah. We
Okay,
weren't.
well, we got married in June.
You know, that seems like you should have pushed it back a month.
Yeah, especially since my birthday is in June. I mean, I think that's really important.
Well, our marriage is actually a celebration of your birthday.
You know what?
But we still didn't get an invite. I mean, what does that say?
But
Is it Jake's fault?
You guys were all invited in spirit.
Okay, I'll accept it.
It makes me feel a little better.
Well, here's because we've got to get this too, and then we're going to get you out of here. We still got to get your movie recommendation.
And it's got to be a movie that came out when I was in high school.
No, this is
Wes,
any
are
movie.
you even a fan of our show?
What's just give us your top movie, your number one favorite movie. You can sit down no matter what you're doing, where you're at, and just watch it.
Yeah, Red Dragon.
I've never even seen that.
Ooh. Well, I mean, it goes in with. Well, their books are really, really good. So if you end up being a fan of that movie, then you have all these books that you can read that go along with it. But it's essentially the prequel to Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, I
yeah.
had a my college English class. We had a really strange teacher who turned out to be awesome, and one of our papers was we had to read Silence of the Lambs and write a paper on it, and then we had to watch like the movie Seven. She's very like crime focused, and so
Oh yeah, Seven was good.
Yeah.
That's a good
It's
one.
great.
So yeah, I probably do need to watch those. I did read Silence of the Lambs, but I haven't read the other two. Or
Yeah,
2 or 3.
Red Dragon is a very good book, and the movie did it justice.
Solid recommendation, I'd say.
So as we get you out of here, is there anything you want to? This is your platform to literally hundreds of people.
We're in the thousands
Yeah, I know,
now.
I know.
I mean, this is the platform of all platforms. If you're going to push your stuff, your product,
Don't worry about
Yeah.
after shows on MTV. Like this is where to do it.
Yeah, I got nothing to plug.
Okay. Yeah, we always give
other
everyone a
than-
chance.
If you are okay, I guess I do have something to plug.
So you're a liar. That's first
Yeah,
of all.
yeah. Okay, well, I feel like if you take it back within like 5 seconds, much like if you drop food on the ground, you got 5 seconds to pick it up
Right.
and you can still eat it.
Totally
Well,
counts.
it's not a lie if I take it back in 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. The plug is if you are single and looking to mingle, I would like you to slide into Jake's DMs.
it's a ringing endorsement, I got to say. That's
Because we don't want to just like this needs to be an interactive community. I don't want you guys to just listen and hear about his dating life. I want you to immerse yourself in it.
You want them to be his dating life.
Yes,
Are you going to create an app for this?
there
Because
already is.
Here's no, but for me, because here's the thing: is my nickname that I go by from most people is Jingle. So you could have said if you're single and ready to mingle with Jingle, this is the place to go.
But if it's a like a tech company, it's gonna have to be like JNGL and no
Yeah,
vowels or anything.
JYNGL.
You gotta spell it
got
really weird.
I don't know, Wes.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out. I'm spitballing here.
Yeah, no, you're turning back the other way. Man.
Yeah, so Jake, you're legitimately asking him to make a dating app specifically where you are the only candidate, much like The Bachelor,
Yeah. Well,
but like Tinder.
There might be some legs there.
Hey,
I'll think through that a little bit.
you know what? When we talk to you next week, we'll get an update on where you're at in development, and I'll call you tonight and see how your night went. And because I'm the only one that might get a phone number out of this.
This is true. You might.
But yeah, again, we really appreciate you coming on. This might be split up into 2 parts. I'm gonna see how it goes editing wise, because we went a little longer than normal. But again, we can't thank you enough for coming on. It was legitimately might be the highlight of our show so far, because
Might be the highlight of my husband's life.
you know, the Grizzlies have never won a championship, so that's out of the play. But this is up there, and
well, we gave you a round of applause coming in. We're gonna give it to you going out.
can you give us a round of applause going out? There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
All right, man. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome. I had a good time. Adios, guys.
See you, man.
Hey everyone, we hope you enjoyed this interview with Wes as much as we enjoyed just recording it. He was super awesome. We had no idea he would reach out to us like that, but he came on and we hit it off right away. I think Jake and Wes worked on their relationship, as you heard, and so we'll see how that works out down the road. But like I said at the beginning, I just want to do our plugs really quick. If you're new here, follow us on social media. It's the easiest way to keep up with what we're doing. It's where we announce cast interviews. It's where we announce any sort of changes, things like that. So follow us on Twitter at Smashing Heads, on Instagram at Smashing Heads Podcast, on Facebook just search for Smashing Heads Podcast. Email us at smashingheadspodcast@gmail.com. And if you're not an iTunes subscriber, just search for us on Podbean, smashingheads.podbean.com. Until next week, we will be back with War of the Worlds recap on Wednesday. Thanks for listening.